You are the icing on my cake. You are the smile I can't replace. You are.
Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a makeup how-to kind of video. I'm going to be showing you my contour, highlight, blush, and bronzer routine. So I think a lot of people get confused on the differences between bronzer and contouring, how to highlight, where to put your blush, and all that, especially with all the techniques and terms out there today. They're calling it highlighting and strobing, contouring, sculpting, bronzing. Like, it's like, oh, what do I do? Where do I put it? You know, so I'm going to be showing you what I do on a daily basis with really any kind of look. So there's so many techniques to contour and so many different techniques for highlighting, but a lot of these like Instagram things you see, which it's like painted white and super dark brown and carved out with cream and blended, it's just, I don't even know, it's confusing. So we all know this has happened when we're watching a contouring tutorial on YouTube. So no one wants to do that every single day. So I'm going to be showing you what I do on a daily basis. This is all with powder products, so it's very easy. And what I love about this look, which you will see in the video, is that I use the Becca Ombre Nudes palette to contour. I love this palette because you can use it on your eyes and on your face and even on your brows. So you can buy one product and get so much use out of it. So it saves you money, it saves time. I just think it's such a good palette to invest in, and I love Becca for highlighting and contouring. I think Becca really blows it away with the formulas and the shades. They're just such a good company when it comes to cheek products. They're my favorite cheek products. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm going to be showing you how I got this bronze look, the contour, and the highlight, and showing you the difference between each one. So I hope this helps you guys, and if you want to see how to do it, then just keep watching. Okay guys, so we're going to start off with bronzer, and a lot of people get contouring and bronzing confused, but they're very, very different. Contouring adds like shape and shadow to your face, while bronzing is just kind of like making yourself look like you have a little bit of a tan, and it's going to add some warmth to your skin. So they're completely different. There are some bronzers that you can get away with using for both, but today I'm going to show you it using two different products so you guys can kind of understand what they do a little bit differently. So one of my favorite bronzers for adding warmth to the face is the Kevyn Aucoin Celestial Bronzing Veil in Tropical Days, and this is a very shimmery bronzer, so a lot of people would be kind of turned off by this, but I'm going to show you how to use it, and it is very, very pretty and natural looking on the skin. So it took me a while to kind of realize how to correctly use this bronzer, but my boss explained to me like how she uses it with a really cool brush technique. So the cool thing about this bronzer is it has like the bronzer and highlighter in one if you wanted to just get away with using one product. I tend to use my Becca highlighters, but sometimes I will just use this. So what you want to do is kind of lay the brush down and get the darker side on the end, so when you swipe it up, you're getting that highlight on the top and the bronzer on the bottom. So if you're kind of confused on how to do that, I lay the brush down like this, and then I lay the product down like this against my face. So I can kind of see where it would line up with the brush, and I know this looks crazy. But see what I mean? The highlighter is on the top and the bronzer is on the bottom, and then you go straight back into the bronzer. And tap off the excess, and then just sweep it on your cheeks. And if I was contouring, say I'd be going right in the hollow of my cheekbone. Bronzing is just kind of adding that warmth to your cheek. So you can kind of bring it up on your cheekbone. And it's okay if it comes a little bit onto where your blush would be. I think a lot of people get confused because they're worried about layering, and that's really what makes it look natural, is if the bronzer is coming from underneath your blush. So if you think about it, if you were out in the sun, you would get a little bit of color all over and then still put blush on top. So that's how I like to think about it. And then I bring it, so you can see that already added a little bit of glow with that lighter shade on the top. And then what I like to do is just kind of get it from the top of my forehead. So I kind of just pull up in motions like this. So blend it back into my hairline. And if you don't like shimmer, go ahead and use a matte bronzer, but I like that this has just a little bit of shimmer, so it kind of gives you a little bit of a glow, especially in the winter when your skin's starting to get a little bit dry. It just really adds some life to your face. And lately I've been taking this bronzer down my nose. Now if you have a big nose and you don't want to accentuate it, then I would not put this on your nose because it does highlight your nose. So because it does have a little bit of shimmer in it. And if you have oily skin, I would not put shimmer on your nose, whether it's highlighter or bronzer. Keep it matte, but my skin is kind of dry right now, so I don't mind. Okay, so that is it for bronzer. I already feel like more alive. I always feel like washed out if I don't have any bronzer on my face. So honestly, I don't even really feel like I need to highlight, but I'm going to show you for the sake of this video. We're going to go on to contour. So what I've been doing for contouring lately is using the Becca Ombre Nudes palette, and I actually just filmed a tutorial or get ready with me video using this on my eyes, but I'm going to show you how to use it on your face as well. And this product was made to be used on eyes, face, and brows, so it's very versatile, but really you can do it with any eyeshadow. So a lot of makeup brands will label it as eyeshadow or as a contour color, but you can use it for both. So there's a few different brushes that you can use for contouring. One of the ones that I really like to start out with is a little fluffy angled brush, and this one is from Belle Tools. It's actually a mini size, but it's the 942 brush, and it's just a little fluffy angled brush. And what I like to do is go into this lightest tan color, not the cream color, this one right here. And it's just a couple shades darker than my skin tone, and it's matte. This whole palette is matte, so when you're contouring, you want to stick with mattes. And I like to use this to kind of start blending, and it adds a very, very light contour before I do anything too dark. So I use a fluffier brush for this step. And I go right into my cheekbone. And you can already see that adds some depth, but it's not going to be super dark. And you could really just stick to this step if you wanted something very subtle for every day. You don't have to go super dark with your contour. Sometimes I do go very dark, but it's not necessary to add definition to your face. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This is just getting our kind of base background color is what I like to call it. So it's going to look blended around everything else. And you don't want to bring it all the way down to your mouth. You know, you want to stop kind of right in here. You really only need to go about halfway down your cheek. So you can see this is really going lower than the bronzer did. And then what I like to do is go in with a smaller brush. I either use the Real Techniques contour brush. It's just a little bit more stiff, and it's going to get that color applied a little bit more densely. Or you can go in with a brush like this from NARS. This is the Ita brush, so it's just a flat chiseled brush. You could even use a fan brush, and it's going to work a lot like this. So you can use any kind of brush that you like, just something that's going to be a little bit more precise. You could even go in with something like a really small blending brush, and that's going to give you that very precise line in a really small area while blending it out. So I think that can work too. Just something to be a little bit more precise now. You don't have to overthink what brush you use. You don't have to have the exact same brushes that I use. Just use what you have and use the same techniques. So now I'm going to go into this middle color, and depending on your skin tone, you can use this color or this middle color. And depending on how tan I am, I will go in with a little bit of the darker color. But today I'm just going to use that middle color because I am starting to lose my tan. So again, I'm just going to go right into my cheekbone just a little bit more precisely and not blend it out quite as much. So you can already start to see the shape that's adding to my face. And then you can contour along your jawline if you like that. I do. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm just going to contour the sides of my nose just a little bit. And then, you know, I'm not a professional, so sometimes I get harsh lines, and that is okay. We all do. So I like to go back in with a fluffy brush. You can use what you use for your bronzer, but since my bronzer does have shimmer in it, I am going to just go in with my powder brush today and just blend out the edges a little bit. So there you go. Okay, then another trick to make your contour look more precise is to go back and use whatever you use to apply your foundation, whether that is a beauty blender or a brush. Just go back with whatever is left over on the sponge or the brush and just kind of go right along, right underneath the contour, so kind of where you didn't really apply any color. And that is just going to lighten that area again and make it a little bit more precise. So it just adds a little bit of contrast between the contour and your jawline. So there you go. Okay, now we are going to move on to blush, and my favorite blush at the moment is also from Becca, and it is the Mineral Blush in Flower Child. It's just such a perfect pink. I love it. It's not too cool tone, it's not too warm toned, and it's just a little bit shimmery, and I use this color like almost every single day. I use it on tons of skin tones. I think it looks good with a natural look or a bold lip, a smoky eye. It just looks good with everything. So if I'm not wearing my Tarte's Exposed blush, I'm probably wearing this. So what I like to do is use just a really classic round blush brush. This is the Sigma F10, and I kind of lay the brush flat and just dip it, like press it right into the blush, tap off the excess. And I start on the apple of my cheek, but I kind of like to bring it up to kind of go along with the contour, if that makes sense. So I just kind of tap it on right here and blend it up. So it kind of creates a lifted look to your face. And then I kind of bring the leftover onto the apples of my cheeks. So I kind of start here and then bring it in. So I don't have too much color on the center of my face. Most of it is going back. And depending on the day, it just kind of depends on how much blush I put on. Today I kind of wanted more of a rosy cheek, so I am putting on a little bit more so you guys can see it too. And with this blush having a little bit of shimmer and the bronzer highlight that I put on, since I used that blush and also I used the Kevyn Aucoin bronzer, which kind of had a built-in highlight, I really feel like I don't need extra highlighter, but I'm going to apply it for this video so you guys can see it. So for my highlighter, I either like to use the Sigma Tapered Highlighter, which is kind of just a big blending brush basically, or I will go in with a smaller brush. This one happens to be a random brush from BH Cosmetics, but it's more of like a eyeshadow blending brush, so this is just going to be a little bit more precise. This is going to give you a little bit of a larger area of highlight. Either one will work. And like I've showed you before, I love all the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors, so I will use a cream highlight or a powder highlight just depending on the day. Today I'm going to show you the powder highlighter because I feel like that is the easiest for most people, and it's just a really easy basic way to highlight. So I'm going to go in with my Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. This is the pressed powder one, and I'm just going to get a little bit on my brush and just barely hit the tops of my cheekbones since I already have a little bit of shimmer, but you know, it's up to you how much highlight that you like, but you're just putting it right on the tops of your cheekbones, and you don't want to get too far underneath your eyes, but you can already see the glow that added. So this is highlighter will do two things. It is going to lift your cheekbones. It's also going to add that dewy glow if you are using a shimmer, but you can also highlight with a matte if you wanted to, just to kind of lift that area. I like shimmer because I like to look dewy and glowy, and I think most people do. But there is nothing wrong with matte highlighting, especially if you're going to highlight more the kind of highlight like underneath your eyes. You would use a matte, obviously, or if you wanted to just highlight the center of your face to bring out certain features, you could definitely use a matte color. But for my cheekbones, I always like to use a shimmer, and I feel like most people do. And then what I like to do is you can use a brush or your ring finger and just tap a little bit right on your Cupid's bow. And that is just going to make your lips look a little bit fuller. Okay guys, so here is the finished look. I hope I look bronzed and contoured and highlighted and blushing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope I wasn't too confusing, and I hope I kind of helped clear up anything, like the differences between how to bronze and contour and where to put everything. Let me know if you guys have any more questions or any other video requests, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
You are the icing on my cake. You are the smile I can't replace. You are.